welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Saturday. And look, we go live before every Ravens game, and there's a game on Saturday. It feels like Sunday, guys, but it's not. Got to be honest, though, I kind of am digging the Saturday game. Can kind of relax next, tomorrow, whatever it may be. But it might be cold outside, but I'll tell you what, hopefully the bank is going to be rocking. It's going to be hot. Why? Ravens have a chance to clinch the AFC North at 4:30 against the Cleveland Browns, which would lock in the 3 seed and make sure that Baltimore at least has one home playoff game. We're going to get into all of that and kind of what it means. And this is a weird day. It always is weird, the final week of the NFL season, for a lot of different reasons. But specifically for the Ravens, it's not the same Browns team that they faced earlier in the season when they lost, but still a division rival nonetheless. We got 2 people in studio with me today. To my left, we got Zach behind the scenes.
Hat and T-shirt day. Hat and T-shirt day in Baltimore. Hopefully a stress-free one, but it's always a good day when you can win the North. It's something that I know the spread on today. It's not supposed to be the closest of games. Hopefully it is a stress-free game. But overall, it's an opportunity to win the division. You can't take that for granted. Hat and T-shirt day in Baltimore, always a fun time.
And our least favorite member of the show on days, there he is.
Oh, we got to adjust the camera.
You know what? I think it's for the best.
Yeah.
Now maybe we'll move the camera.
Yeah, we'll move the camera on. Yeah.
I look like Steven Glansberg. Yeah, this is great. Thanks.
You're welcome.
But it's it's a great day for a team to win the AFC North. Absolutely. It's just not the team that I'm thinking of right now, Zach. It's a great day for one of 2 teams to win the AFC North because 2 teams out there have a chance to do so. One of them being
one of them
Steelers.
But one of those teams controls their own destiny.
I mean, kind of both of those teams control their own destiny.
No, they don't. They really don't. They really, really don't. And nice job there, Zach. They really don't. Why? It's simple. Ravens win, they're the champs of the AFC North. The Steelers win the division only if the Ravens lose and Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati later on tonight. We're going to find out what the scenario is going to be very quickly. But you know what? If you're a Steelers fan, Rocco, which you are, and I'm sorry for that, no one to blame except for the Steelers. In that case, losers of 3 straight. Yes, tough opponents. But if you had told me that the Ravens were going to win the AFC North 5-6 weeks ago, especially after that loss at Pittsburgh, you didn't feel as, comfortable with maybe the situation. But I'll tell you what, the Ravens are exactly where they want to be, man. Do I like the close-up? Do I look better? Do I like the close-up? Is everyone see the brick? Beautiful.
It's like Cloverfield right now with the camera as shaky as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a horror movie.
That is a horror movie.
Yeah.
We can talk about horror movies.
Thanks.
Specifically, Rocco's life is a living horror
My
movie.
life is fantastic. I'm a happy guy today. I have
obviously your voice is very happy, but
regardless, the Steelers are postseason bound, and I'm a happy man. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That the final week of the NFL season, the AFC North, could be won. It's not already locked up. It wasn't locked up in week 16. Wasn't locked up in week 17. Now, as a Steelers fan, I would have loved for that to happen, but week 18, you never know what the hell can happen. The scenarios, the teams that are out, the teams that need so much to happen, the small chances, like the 1% chances of getting in the playoffs, and it somehow happens for some of these teams out there. So I love it. It's absolute chaos. It's like that Elmo meme where he's sitting there and the fire is going up behind him. That is week 18 of the NFL season in a nutshell.
Yep. Well, let's dive a little bit more into this first game. And we know both teams, Ravens and Steelers, are going to be going to the playoffs. The third team in the AFC North that has a chance, not a high chance, but a chance, is the Bengals. But they must beat Pittsburgh in order to still be in the conversation. They need the most help. Bengals need the Chiefs to beat the Broncos and the Dolphins to lose to the Jets. And Tua looks like he's going to be out again, so Tyler Huntley will start for the Dolphins against those New York Jets in New York, which could be Aaron Rodgers' final game. Maybe he rides off into the sunset. I don't know. We'll find out. But Zach, let's dive into this Ravens game here. And we're going to look at a specific here, and then we're talking about that line here. But before we get into the lines of this game, let's take a quick trip up to our sponsor at Hollywood Casino and Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Pretty good, but a little bit more energy, Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco.
A little bit more energy,
Get it
passion.
together.
Act like you want to be here. But I'll tell you what, a place you want to be on January 31st is up there at Hollywood Casino, because they are introducing the ESPN Sportsbook into the casino tentatively. But there's some things in the works of what could happen in the works. Maybe the Ryan Ripken Show will be up there to have content and do a show up there. And maybe there's some other guests that could be up there that people would love to possibly interact with and see. So stay tuned for more with that at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. That is an hour away from Owens Mills and an hour and 15 from Baltimore. But having said that,
Speaking of odds real quick.
get it in there.
Yeah, I wanted to do this live so I can. We've talked about, obviously, the Bengals still have that opportunity to make the playoffs. And if they get in, they get the Bills. They'd have to go then to the Chiefs. I mean, it is a insanely tough path. And if the Bengals were to pull it off and win it all, it would be absolutely insufferable as our instances. They'd most likely have to go through the Ravens at the bank. So I'm leaving here with something. If this goes down, I'm leaving here with something. I've just placed $5 on the Bengals to win it all. Pays out $1,205. I'm leaving here with something. If they pull it off and they get to have this insane run of Joe Burrow making it in the playoffs and running the table, I'm leaving here with something.
Get
so
out.
$5 to $1,200.
Disgusting what
Get
you
out.
just did.
That's worse
Yeah.
than Rocco.
Yeah,
No.
that's you're.
I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something.
Are you proud of that?
Yeah, I am, because if I'm never going to be able to hear the end of that from Bengals fans, I'm at least leaving here with my money.
Well, you should donate that money to charity if you want it. Doesn't
Yeah,
deserve to be in your pocket.
Well, maybe it's just already settled by tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it's settled by tonight.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys take care of business, Rocco, maybe it's settled by tonight.
Okay.
Calls in your court.
Yeah.
Ruin my bet, Rocco.
I don't know. A lot of chemistry. It looks like everything's going very swell over there in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Something's got to change. Something's got to change. But Zach, I didn't forget what you just said, and we're going to talk
I'm
about
leaving
that
here
after
with
the
something.
show. Okay, let's talk about something then. Ravens and the Browns. The line in this game, I can't remember a spread this large in the NFL in quite some time. Like, I know that there's stats out there. I'll have to do a little bit more diving in.
Oh.
But at the moment, minus 20. Rock, do you have the stat for that?
Of course I do, Rip, because I come to this show prepared.
That's prepared as a stretch, but what you got?
No, I do come prepared. We talk about some of the biggest spreads in NFL history. Well, let's just start with the last 20 years, because there are some big ones. And the biggest being 26.5. Jaguars, Broncos back in 2013. The Broncos were plus 9,000. They did not cover that spread. It was a 35-19 win for Denver over Jacksonville in that game. In fact, you look at some of the biggest spreads over the last 20 years. I believe the most recent on this list is the Texans and the Cardinals was plus 20, and that was back in 2021. So when you're looking at that, that was a spread that was covered. Can the Ravens do it today? What are they, plus 20 or plus 20.5? Has that moved since we talked about it earlier?
It's right now the Ravens are 20-point favorites in Baltimore, and the over and under is set at 41.5. So for this to cover and the spread to not go over, right? Or sorry, for it to go over, they're saying the Ravens would need to win.
Like 30-10.
Gosh, for it to go under 30 to 10 pushes.
31 to
31 to 10 would be the number you
4
do.
touchdowns and a field
If
goal.
you're going under, if you're going over, then the Ravens say the Browns put up 20 points, then that means then the Ravens would have to put up 41 points.
Yeah. I will say something that's kind of crazy to think about. Remember when the Browns went 0-16, didn't win a game? I think I saw somewhere their like biggest spread was like 15.5. So that's how banged up and like how many players are sitting and stuff and how much Vegas thinks the Ravens going to win by, where even the 0-16 Browns, who did not win a single game, were never projected to lose by this many points.
And the reason why this line would be different if Jameis Winston was the quarterback, because the Browns did beat the Ravens with Jameis Winston, and it's the Jameis experience. He could put up 400, 500 yards or make plays that sit there and go, holy hell, man, maybe he should be a franchise quarterback again. But it was the mistakes then, the interceptions. Specifically, here's the good for Jameis. He ended up leading the Browns to beat the Ravens and the Steelers. The bad for Jameis, well, he did give some interceptions to those teams. We know in the Baltimore game, they dropped some interceptions. Denver, though, specifically, they didn't drop interceptions when they played the Broncos. 2 pick sixes in that game for Denver was the difference. For the Browns not winning, Jameis almost threw for 500 yards. Did he throw for 500 yards? It was up there.
Yeah.
That was the Jerry Jeudy legacy game against the Broncos. So point being, Jameis not playing is a big reason, obviously, this line changes. And also DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who I would argue the line might have been higher just because he's been really struggling. I feel bad for him. It just hasn't been clicking the way that they'd hoped. But now it's Bailey Zappi. So they are on their 4th quarterback. So it was Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, DTR, and now Bailey Zappi is the quarterback, and that's where we see the line set at 20 points. And guys, I'm going to be honest, I'm looking at it 3-13 for the Browns. Nothing really to play for, but that is a huge line. Like, not that I don't think the Ravens will win this game. 20 points is a lot of damn points to cover.
I think that they win. I do not think they cover, because when you look at this list, the biggest spreads over the last 20 years, you don't see an AFC North rivalry game on there. And that's another reason why this is the best division in all of football. It's competitive regardless of who's – think about who the Browns have had at quarterback over the course of the last 20 years. And the last time they were a 18 or more point spread was back in 1999 against the Rams, and they were plus 18.5. Now, they didn't cover that spread. They lost 34-3. But looking at that and looking at the AFC North, just overall, you don't see a lot of these big spreads, regardless of if it's the pride of Western Kentucky, Bailey Zappi at quarterback, or if it's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, or Jameis Winston, or if you have Tyler Huntley starting for the Ravens, like that, that there's been in the past. I know he's on a different team now. I'm not stupid, people. Well, that's a different conversation.
That is a very different conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. I think the Ravens can win this game handily. I do not think they cover that spread, though. I think the Browns have too much pride than to lose by 20 points in an AFC North game with the division on the line for the Ravens, and when they're coming into enemy territory at all those factors, I think, factor in the final week of the season.
And the one thing, though, that I will say for the Ravens, not that I think that it would be a cover, but Bailey Zappi, it's not crazy to think, because you had some moments in New England, not saying they were great moments all the time, but some moments of being able to make some things happen. The Cleveland defense is not a bad defense. They have underperformed. Their whole team has underperformed, Zach, but it's not a bad defense. But the flip side here for the Ravens, let's talk about this offense and this MVP conversation, because Josh Allen more than likely is going to be, maybe getting snap or two, maybe a series, and he's out of the game for the start streak. Lamar Jackson has a chance to really kind of make his final case here, solidify maybe winning his second straight MVP. And Lamar Jackson has been playing at really the highest level, and he's chasing history with the highest passer rating in NFL history. He's second right now for a season. He goes out there and has a magnificent game. Ravens will put up a lot of points, and Lamar is going to possibly put his name on top of the history books.
Yeah, and do we know the official number he has to hit? I've seen it floated around that he has to get around 138, like 6 or something today in a minimum of 15 attempts to break that record. I'm not sure the official number, but yeah, it's going to be I believe, Rocco, if you could correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Denzel Ward is not playing today. I think they've already ruled him out. Yeah, so the Browns placed a bunch of guys on injured reserve. So not only is it, the quarterback situation, but guys on defense are sitting out, guys on offense are sitting out. This should be a game, kind of, you don't want to call any game a tune-up game for the playoffs, because it's the NFL. These are all professional athletes. They can all play ball. But this is a game that you hope for, as a Ravens fan, that you go out there. Lamar, I would like to see Lamar and Derrick Henry play a half. Play a good solid half, put the guys up by 21, get 3 scores up, and then have the other guys take over. I think that's more solid. Maybe play Lamar a little bit in the third. This is, for me, when we talked about the spread, I don't think the Ravens cover the spread. That's just a lot of points to cover in the NFL. Like, even any game, you rarely see 20-point blowouts in the National Football League. Pair that with the fact I think the Ravens are going to be sitting some guys towards the end of the game. For me, this is about getting in, winning the division by any means necessary, and then just getting out healthy. I think that's more important than the spread.
The best thing for the Ravens would be to be up to 2+ scores heading into the fourth with a solid lead, and Lamar can, do what he did last game, go into the tunnel, make a little change, have that coat on, and be celebrating the AFC North victory. That's what every Ravens fan wants today, is to see Lamar on the sideline, not on the field, when those, final kneel downs are taking place and that victory is secured. But again, 20 is a lot of points in any sport, let alone the National Football League.
It is. It's not one of those for probably when we get into our best bets a little bit later on, which ones that we're going to go with.
I love mine.
I know you do, but heel cinnamon over there to finish the passer rating conversation with Lamar Jackson. If that number is around 138, let's just say
that's
it
what
is.
I believe.
Just say it's roughly around 138. Lamar has gone over that number 6 times this season, with the last one coming just on Christmas last week against the Texans. He had a 143.9 passer rating. Then the time previous to that, it was against the New York Giants, where he was almost perfect, 154.6. So Lamar 6 times throughout this season. It's really, if you're looking at this case, it's week 18. I know they play 17 games, but it's over a 33% chance, whatever 6 of 17 is, 38, 40%, whatever it is. I got to do the math in my mind.
I failed math. I
know, but I'll do that math real quickly. But you're telling me there's a chance, and there's a realistic shot of who he's playing and what they're doing. 35% chance is what Lamar has done. 35% of the games Lamar at this moment. No, I did the math wrong. See, this is the problem here. Problem with me, problem with you, problem with Rocco.
Like Gilman education over there. Great job, buddy.
Easy. 37.5%, almost 38. So over 37% of the time so far, Lamar has reached that mark this year. So he's going to have a good shot, especially against the team that they do still have guys there's a lot of pride still over there for Cleveland, but make no mistake, Baltimore should win this and should win this running away, but winning by 20 or more points, we do not know. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about trying to wrap it up. And you mentioned earlier, Zach, in some cases, people feel like it's a preseason game, but it's not. Like, all of it's on the line. That's the one thing that scares me.
It feels like a weird game.
It's a weird game.
It's a very weird game because we've talked about a 20-point spread. I've brought up, I'm hoping that the Ravens are resting starters in the end of third, fourth quarter. But the division's still on the line. If you lose this game and Pittsburgh wins, you don't win the division. Suddenly next week, you're on the road, in the playoffs. So this can escalate very quickly. We're sitting thinking it's all cushy. Oh, we're the number 3 seed. This is locked in, all that. Yes, on paper, this should be a blowout. You should be resting guys. We saw the Ravens and Browns a few months ago, obviously very different team that the Browns are putting out there this week. But Ravens it felt like played with their food a lot that game. And, hell, Nick Moore even came in the next day and was like, that was a completely different team than we were expecting to play over there. Like, they came with some fire. The Browns don't want to get embarrassed. So the Ravens got to take care of business early and just get a big lead early. You know, take pressure off, because the last thing you need is for this to be the third quarter. It's a 17-10 game, and you're like, why are we still out here having to
You don't have that stress of the situation. And I'd argue that was probably I know that the Ravens, people can argue that, like, the Raiders might have been one of the worst losses of the year, when you look at it that way. But I thought the worst game that Baltimore played was against Cleveland for the mistakes, for the injuries, for what happened there. Mistakes, penalties, missed opportunities. That's what I meant to say. Like, that was the big thing in that game. We talked about dropping interceptions. And they had a chance a couple times to put that game away, and they didn't. And that was one where the Browns hung around. Now, way different team. It seems like Baltimore's peaking at the right time. That's what you hope. That's what everyone hopes in here, especially Rocco. The Ravens are peaking at the right time. And people have asked about that hat, Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco, can you?
Yeah, you want to elaborate on that, buddy?
It says Steelers football on it in a shade of camo green and black. So I'm not trying to hide anything. This is what the hat says. This is what I've been wearing on my head all day. This is what I will continue to wear on my head all day. Unless the AFC North title is won at 4 p.m. rather than at 8. So it's going to be a long day. I know this. Not expecting good things, and good things usually don't happen to me in my life. So it could be a very, very depressed Rocco by day's end, like everyone loves. Do you want to hear a odd but true stat, though, about regular season finales, the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson?
I don't know if I want to.
Well, you're going to hear it, and he's only played in 2 regular season finales over the course of his entire NFL career. Over the course of his entire NFL career, 2 regular season finales.
Yeah.
Last year it was Tyler Huntley. The year before it was Anthony Brown. Robert Griffin III got one in there as well. Huntley got another. And Lamar, the only 2 that he's played in, rookie season.
Browns.
And then I believe it was, against the Browns, correct. And they won by 2. And then 2021 was the second. Also correct me if I'm wrong. No, sorry. It was 2020. And that one was against the Bengals. So.
Yeah, because that's when the Ravens ran for 404 yards. Also, real fast, I will never forget you, Anthony Brown. That was a time that when they were just tossing out because Lamar was injured, and it was crazy. It was like Tyler Huntley wasn't really doing well, so they're like, "Well, let's just see what." And then Anthony Brown back in Cincy, because that was against the Bengals too. Because wasn't that the whole coin flip thing? If the Ravens won, then there was the coin flip for home field advantage, and it was like, can Anthony Brown, who came in. You know, the whole story of he played at Oregon. He had one of his best games ever was against Ohio State. People were like, maybe he's just great in Ohio. He wasn't. But that was what a time. What a time.
That was a tough day for the program.
Cue the Sarah McLachlan, I Will Remember You music.
Yeah. You know,
so I think that's who's on it.
It's an overall great job.
Yeah.
So right now, as we know, 4:30 Eastern time, the Ravens, Browns, they're kicking off here in Baltimore at the Bank. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're live for every pregame for the Ravens. So hopefully when we've done it earlier, it's been getting up in the morning with us. As the playoffs progress here, we're going to figure out what the schedule is. Baltimore's going to the playoffs. It's just going to be, are they going to be the 3 seed and hosting here next week in Baltimore, or are they hitting the road? That's the only thing. And for the Ravens too, if they weren't to win, they would go to Houston. Like that would be set in stone because of the tiebreakers. Baltimore would go to Houston. We don't want to have to worry about that. You win, you're the 3 seed, and you will welcome the Chargers or the Steelers. At the moment, it would be the Los Angeles Chargers coming to Baltimore in a Harbaugh Bowl reunion back in Baltimore, and even Ravens West versus Ravens East, essentially here. So a lot to figure out. Appreciate you guys. And we're also live every Monday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to get back to doing our Wednesday Hot Stove Happy Hour as well, to get all of our baseball coverage. And I know a lot of people are – baseball's starting to stir. We're excited about it. It's going to be a fantastic 2025. But you know it'd be great first, finishing out a football season in spectacular fashion.
In Louisiana.
In Louisiana here. So I can't wait. I'm excited. And I know a lot of Ravens fans and for Steelers fans, Rock, your boys are in the dance. It's fun. This is what you wait. This is the time you wait for. It's the time that you've been waiting for. And no matter what the narratives with everything with Lamar Jackson and the MVP and the Ravens, if the Ravens were the 1 seed or the 7 seed, it's going to come down to what do you do in the postseason? Yeah. That's what it's going to come down to.
It genuinely is fun. I mean, the Ravens are playing, it feels like, some of their best ball. Lamar Jackson going for the perfect or the passer rating record, all that stuff. For the Steelers, you had a great start. You're completely backpedaling into the dance. Russell Wilson is a shell of his own self over the past few weeks. It just is exciting times in the NFL for really a lot of fan bases. And I'm just, you feel like new year, new us, you know?
You're such a piece of shit. You are such a piece of shit. I don't appreciate those comments at all. And you know what? Old Rocco wouldn't have picked that up because I would have been on my phone, distracted. The ADHD would have been through the roof. And I heard exactly what you said. And after this show, we're fighting outside. Hopefully one of us doesn't blow away, though, because the wind. Talk about games today, especially here in Baltimore.
Oh,
The
my
wind
gosh.
is out of control. So
Kicks?
I hope field goals aren't like a trend today, because you got to rely on punching that ball into the end zone, because Justin Tucker's been great recently, but you do not want to rely on either side having to kick, because that ball might be going all over the place. It's crazy out there.
And right now it is 32 degrees currently, but it feels like 20. And that means as we get closer to 4:30 and that sun's going down, that temp is going to drop even more to feel like it's in the teens. It is cold. Hopefully you brought a jacket or two or three, or if you're going to the game and you're tailgating and you're going to be outside, well, make sure that you get a little Deep Eddy vodka in you. That will make you feel good. We did that last time when the Ravens and Steelers were in town. We were out at the lots. We were playing gridiron golf. We were enjoying ourselves. We also had a few cocktails, and shout out to Deep Eddy for helping supply that. I think there it is. That might be my favorite.
This is incredible.
The vodka soda lime for theirs. That's my favorite of their flavors.
They killed it with this.
The shot ski was awesome. What do we have? The Deep Eddy, what was it? The cranberry out there that we had, the shot of that.
Oh yeah,
And I
we're
think
having cranberry with the shot ski.
My dad did the shot ski with Ryan. It was me, Ryan, and who else did it with us?
I don't know if we had Jimbo do it
Jamie?
again. Jamie might have done it again.
It might have, but my dad will not stop talking about the shot ski. He's like, Lynn, he goes home to my mom. Lynn, what, you know what I did the other day at the tailgate? He's like, did the shot ski. She's like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, it's a ski with shots in it. You don't even have to hold it. You just lift it up and do a shot ski. I'm like, oh my God, you created a monster, dude.
We got it right around the corner, man. It was phenomenal. It was a blast, honestly. And Zach he's got to work on his gridiron golf skills.
AI.
Zach has to work on a lot of skills: gridiron golf,
Rocco,
people skills.
Rocco, we're sticking to football over here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
We're
talking to
you threw a haymaker, so I thought it was time for me to do the same.
Surprised you didn't bring up the Marshall National Championship.
Yeah. And now eventually we're gonna have Nick join the show and talk shit to me as well, and Joe do the same. So it's just everybody shit on Rocco Day. I love it.
That's every day.
Just bring it
That's
on.
every day. 2025, that's every day.
Yeah.
But make sure you're tuned in. Hit that like and subscribe button. And also, too, if you want to be a channel member, click that join button. Last night, it was impromptu. We were talking about some baseball news, and then it ended up going for, almost 2.5 hours last night, fellas. We had a wild Zach Lowther, former Oriole and currently pitching down in the playoffs in the Dominican Republic. He joined, and we got to catch up, talk about some old stories from the minor leagues as well. So maybe it was a tiny rip after dark, not fully. No one could handle full rip after dark. But if you guys want to join the channel, click that join button, be a Rips Good Kid or a Holy Shirts and Pants member. All this goes back into making this experience better for you guys. Truly, we are putting it right back into the studio, and we really appreciate each and everything that you guys have done. So now that we know that the Ravens have to win, and also, by the way, shout out Derrick Henry. Happy birthday to the king.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. The man, you know what? It just feels like that man is going to find the end zone today.
He better.
It feels destined. I'm sure you're saying that for probably financial reasons over there behind the screen. But I am excited to see Derrick Henry in the postseason. We got to wait another week. Knock on wood, he's healthy. But a healthy Derrick Henry on this side for Baltimore would be fantastic to watch. You know what's also been fantastic to watch? And it's not going to be a great, hopefully they do what they have to do, but I don't think that people have talked enough about the Ravens defense's evolution the last 6 weeks, whatever it's been. Even that Eagles loss, the last time they lost, defense played pretty well. Field goals are deflating, and when the field goals missed, you could feel that. But overall, they were keeping the Eagles in check. And then when the Eagles were able to get up and they're able to run the football, that was it. Yeah. But Ravens defense, and we saw it on Christmas Day. Fantastic. Ardarius Washington, we had Q on. Qadry Ismail was former Raven Super Bowl champion. And we talked about what one player can do for a team and one that's not expected to be a star for you. How that can galvanize a team, can bring people together. You need those guys on the way to try to chase a championship. I mean, look, if you want to take this for Ravens, what are names that popped out in the 2012 run for Ravens fans out there, Zach? What are names? Jacoby Jones making a run there. Corey Graham.
Big interceptions.
Interceptions.
Rookie Justin Tucker,
rookie.
at the time. Wasn't Justin Tucker the greatest of all time, like we know. Man, Paul Kruger had a run during that playoff. It felt like so many guys. It genuinely was the amount of guys on that defense that got paid after that. Ellerby, it was everyone steps up. That's what you need to make a run at the Super Bowl. You need the guys that aren't the star players, that aren't the Terrell Suggs, aren't the Ed Reeds, to come up there and, like you name Corey Graham. It's
how about
guys.
Paul Kruger that year? Then ended up leading to him for a contract.
Is he?
I know you just said that. I was trying to look at something. What'd you say?
I said Paul Kruger had a great run that year. I was like, he and Donnell Ellerby got them contracts.
I'll be honest, I pulled a Rocco and spaced out.
Dude, how about Paul Kruger, man? Pretty good. Yeah,
I did.
Did we talk about him yet?
The guy we're forgetting about is Paul Kruger.
Paul Kruger.
We are.
Pretty, yeah, I mean, this is probably the most Paul Kruger's heard his name on a show in a long time. Just like,
Paul
thanks
Kruger.
to Rip. Yeah.
Paul Kruger.
Unbelievable.
But it was the guys that you weren't game planning for. They weren't sitting there, against the Broncos going, we got to make sure we know where Corey Graham is in the defensive secondary. But he went out there and made the plays. That's what it's about. Jimmy Smith in the Super Bowl. It wasn't like, okay, this was the star Jimmy Smith at the time. This was a young, rookie at the time, Jimmy Smith?
And you had a special teamer like Josh Bynes making a big play at the end there as well. So it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Josh Bynes, former Raven legend, one of two players that was on the Super Bowl team that was active 2 years ago. I remember that roster. It was Justin Tucker and him. So it's like those guys, the unsung heroes you talk about too, it's got to be from top to bottom. That's going to win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not just the players like Zach talked about, the Terrell Suggs, the Ray Lewises, in years past, Ed Reed. It's just like you need from top to bottom. Like Ardarius Washington the last 2 weeks has made big play after big play after big play. And I expect him to do it again. It's like that's a guy that is getting hot at the right time. And the Ravens, Zach Orr's defense needs to get hot at the right time, because all the talk when Marcus Williams came over was about, okay, we're bringing this guy in 5 years, $70 million. What can he bring to the table? And honestly, when he was healthy, he was able to bring a lot to the table the first couple of years, but struggled to stay healthy. Now it doesn't seem like a health thing anymore. It seems like either a mental thing or he's just not there anymore. So don't know what's going on there, but you got to play the hot hand. That's what John Harbaugh and company decided to do. And now this Ardarius Washington, like you said, Zach, he was a stud coming out of college. The Ravens knew what he was capable of, but it's like, did you expect him to do this at the next level? Probably not. And the fact that he is, it's special for this team. It's special for this fan base. And it's a guy that you want to be able to rely on in the postseason when that comes around as well.
It's the big thing that I love about Ardarius Washington is, like you said, he was supposed to be this star when he was in college, and he was projected to go in about the third round, goes undrafted. And I remember sitting at my television throughout that process because I loved Ardarius Washington. And it would be like Mel Kiper's top availables starting in the third round, like Mel Kiper's top availables. And it would be like Ardarius Washington, number one. And it stayed like that through 4 rounds until it completely ended. I remember sitting at my TV, like screaming almost every time it was the Ravens pick. I'm like, Ardarius is right there. Like, why is no one? And it's the classic, the NFL draft where everyone assumes a guy's a third round pick. He goes undrafted. All of a sudden, it's announced like 2 weeks later, signs with Baltimore. And it wasn't like, like we've talked about, it wasn't like star at first sight. It wasn't like he showed up in camp and they're like, oh, this is a star. This is our next guy. He grinded. He started at the bottom. He started as a special teamer. He didn't all of a sudden was handed the keys. He worked for it. In his limited reps, he would make plays. He would go out there, make differences when he could. And it's led over the years to suddenly Marcus Williams is struggling. And they're like, hey, we trust Ardarius enough to give him this opportunity. And man, talk about getting the opportunity and running with it. That you can argue, we've been talking about, especially in that Texans game, the 3 games in 11 days, he had the pick against New York. He had the interception against the Steelers. Well, the forced fumble on
Russell Wilson.
Yep. And then the big goal line play.
Yep. It almost caused Zach Orr to break every bone in his body.
Almost cost us a defensive coordinator, but we'll let it slide because it was a hell of a play.
Boys, I want to bring this up since we're talking about Ardarius Washington, and he deserves his praise because of the way he's played this season. I want to bring up a scouting report from when he was coming out, from when, Zach, you had to watch your TV and see team after team pass up on this guy, okay? His prospect grade was a 5.89, and in that it said average backup or special teamer. Can we agree he's been above average this season? Can we agree he's been more than an average backup or a special teamer? I think we can all agree. This is a case, when you look at a guy that's 5'8", 176 pounds coming out, you look at him and you're saying, does he have the size? Does he have the tenacity? Does he have the physicality to play at the next level? And I think Ardarius Washington has proven he absolutely does. And looking at the overview, very undersized college safety with low-end size and high-end play traits. Washington falls well below the desired measurables for a safety, which we just talked about, but he plays with outstanding instincts and aggression in everything he does. He has good foot quickness and really reads play development and quarterback intentions with clear eyes. He's quicker than fast, and there is some concern about how he will match up down the field against NFL size. He's a physical striker when he plays near the line, but can be pushed around by big bodies at times. Several teams will scratch him from their boards, like they did, Zach, based on his size. But a move to nickel cornerback with a man or zone talent could help him find NFL snaps regardless of stature. And I think that's what he's found with the Ravens, and I think that's what the Ravens have found with Ardarius Washington. It's great to see.
Yeah, and the thing is, and this is one of my favorite quotes, is that in a day and age where we want to look at the measurables, we want to look at what you physically are gifted to be able to do. You're a freak athlete. You can make all the plays. You have all the arm talent, right? All those things. One thing, this is my favorite quote, is you cannot measure a player's heartbeat. You can't measure their motor. You can't measure what they're going to go out there and do each and every day when people are watching and when they aren't on the practice field. And you have to be the one that puts your best foot forward. And when an opportunity presents itself, how do you handle that? How do you combat it? And do you run towards it and try to take advantage if that moment is just one moment, but you're ready for it? And that's what Ardarius Washington has done. He has been ready for his moment. He has been prepared, and you can't measure the heart that dude's got. And it's been a big reason why this Baltimore Ravens defense, yes, they made some changes, but if you're looking at a team, and I said earlier that Q said galvanizing, I'll tell you what, this defense has more swagger with Ardarius Washington out there making the impact that he is making.
Yeah, and it reminds me what you just said about it reminds me of the Michael Penix thing this past offseason when he sent the memo to all the teams interested in him and said, I will take all the MRIs and x-rays because there were concerns about his knee injuries and stuff. And he said, I will take all the x-rays and MRIs you want, but if you truly want to know what you are getting from me, you're going to need an EKG. You're going to need, because you got to see my heart. You're going to need to see what I put into this, because you can't, the MRIs will show what the body is shown, but it's these guys that do not give up, or that's truly like in Ardarius Washington, Rocco, you read it, all this stuff multiple times. It felt like every other sentence, like all these great things. Hey, he's undersized though. Yep. He's really good at this for a guy who's undersized.
Like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, it was all compliments, but every compliment was wet with, he's really good at this for a guy who's undersized. And now he's doing it, and he's doing it at a damn good level.
And it's crazy the contrast. You have a Kyle Hamilton that's a 6'4" avatar, as Jadeveon Clowney called him last year, that can really move and be in every space in the field. I mean, you put him anywhere on the defensive side of the ball, he can make it happen. You could put him off the line. You could put him back deep. You could line him up as like a linebacker. You can truly line this guy up anywhere. And his size, you see it. That's why he was a first-round talent. You have a guy that's 5'8" standing next to him. It's like when you and I do our did our Fox 45 hits, Rip, and you're standing there towering next to me. That is what you get when you have Ardarius Washington and Kyle Hamilton out there on the field standing next to each other size-wise. You got one guy that's short, but he plays with heart. You got another guy that plays with heart, but he's he's got all the intangibles. He's got the size. So it's cool to see that NFL players come in different shapes and sizes. They really do. And that might sound corny to some, but it's really the truth. Like, you don't have to be the biggest player to make the biggest impact. And that's what we're seeing.
And also, too, I like to tell when people look at for any sport here, but you guys have heard me talk specifically about baseball because that's where I spend a lot of my time. And I told you guys, I saw some of the most talented players in the world where they're hitting the balls, felt like 500 feet. They have a cannon for an arm. They're fast as hell, quick twitch. They could be a 5-tool guy, but they couldn't figure it out. Well, why? Mentally, they couldn't put it together. And then maybe their work ethic wasn't there. the ones that end up being maybe the superstars where you're like, wow, it's an unbelievable talent matched with you're able to put it all together mentally. So let's like go through that. You know, in the NFL, when you're looking at some of the best, and let's go on this side with Kyle Hamilton since you just used it. Physically talented, physically gifted. What's took his game to the next level is that he understands how to play. He's mentally involved. He's instinctual, but then he's got a motor. He keeps going. He keeps playing. Lamar Jackson, unbelievable talent. Unbelievable talent.
Did you see his Pee Wee highlights that he posted all over his Instagram the other day?
I didn't see that.
Dude, it was, I mean, seeing the way he ran at like 8 or 10 or 12 years old, whatever the hell he was in that video, it's like, holy shit. Like the Ravens posted the series, and you got to go back and watch that, talking about Lamar Jackson and seeing how he played from a young age and looking at how he plays now. Whole lot of similarities.
Oh, there's a lot of similarities, but again, like truly gifted when you can watch a guy and go, damn. How many times when we were going through, if you're going through the amateur levels, if it was high school or you're watching college or whatever, you can go, damn, that guy's a pro. Like you're like, that talent is pro-esque. And so that's the part there. But with what I'm saying with Lamar's talents were going to get him so far to get to the NFL. But what transcended Lamar from being just one to being one of the best, one of the greatest, and hopefully he goes down as being one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play, it's more than just your skills. Superstars are skills, mindset, and your motor and heartbeat. But it doesn't mean the other players can't end up being Hall of Fame players, because you can make up for some things that you lack to an extent, but only if you're able to put that together. Baseball players, last thing I'll say. Dustin Pedroia, people are probably aware of him. That dude, not the biggest guy, right? But he was one of the best hitters at the time. Why? Mindset, his work ethic. He continued to grind. He wasn't the same player as, Shohei Ohtani. But I'll tell you what, Dustin Pedroia was one hell of a ball player. Ardarius Washington isn't like Kyle Hamilton, but he is proving to be one hell of a ball player for the Baltimore Ravens.
You got to want it, and he definitely wants it. And there are guys that are. So it's, big things ahead for him in his career. And this I feel like is only the beginning.
It is. It truly is. And Paul Kruger. Paul Kruger.
Never forget Paul Kruger.
Never forget.
Got a contract out of that too.
Paul Kruger.
Do you guys know that Paul Kruger got a contract out of that?
Paul Kruger played for the Ravens. He's on that Super Bowl run.
Paul Kruger was on that.
Oh, he did right before that when he was. Did he play during the Super Bowl run? I forgot.
I don't know.
Someone look it up. I feel like he did. Paul.
Let's see. I'm checking it out right now.
Yeah, Joe Flacco was the quarterback for the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl last time.
Was he? He?
Tyrod Taylor.
They had that wild game in Denver. They said some people were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a miracle!" Like, Mile High Miracle. So stupid. Why would they name it?
Trivia question for you guys, since we're talking about Paul Kruger. Where did he go to college?
Ooh. My guess is I wanted to say like Oklahoma.
Nope.
But it's not.
It is not. I'll give you a hint. It's not a Power 5 school.
I was going to say I knew it wasn't.
That's why.
Or it wasn't a Power 5 school. I don't know if they're in a Power 5 conference now. I don't believe they are.
Was it someone in the MAC?
No. But that would make a lot of sense.
Definitely not Temple.
No, definitely not Temple. No. Although we do have some NFLers from Temple.
No, but I know.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah, where is it?
Utah.
Oh, yeah.
Rexburg, Idaho native.
Utah's literally in the
Big 12.
Ended up going to Utah.
They're literally in the Big 12.
And he went to what?
Utah's literally
Are they
in the
now?
Big 12.
Yeah.
Are they now?
But to be fair, the Pac-12 was a thing, and then it's not.
Utah wasn't.
Yes,
yeah, Utah was in the Mountain West, I believe, before when he played.
No.
Or either the Mountain West or the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference.
Was he there when Urban was there?
I don't. Hold on,
they were. I think they might have been
2009.
good,
Urban was there with Alex Smith in 2005, right? Because Alex Smith got drafted in 05. Because I remember that because Andrew Bogut also got drafted in 05, number one overall, and they were the first two players, I believe, in a long time to get selected NFL, NBA from the same school. So, trivia.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? The more you know.
Yeah.
The more you know with our friend Rocco.
Utah has definitely been in the Power 5 and Power 4.
Have they?
It's okay. We're learning, though. Rocco's learning. But if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. Ravens, Browns kicking off in just over 2 hours at the bank. I think we open up the call-ins here in the next 5 minutes. Because we're not going to have a super long show. There's only so much we can continue to discuss here. And we know a lot of people here want to talk about this final week. And for those that are wondering with our call-ins, this is what we love about our community. If you are a channel member, you get the opportunity to call in, talk to us about what's going on. You can rip Rocco to shreds, which is one of our favorite pastimes as well. But let us know what you're thinking about with this Ravens-Browns game. So I will put that link into the channel members community on YouTube, guys. So for everyone there, we'll go with that. And I can tell Joe is mad about me saying easy with the more you know for Rocco, because he wants it to be the more you know for Joe, which it is. It is the more you know with Joe.
Well,
Utah was in the Pac-12.
no, not when he played. He was in 09 and they played in the Mountain West.
still doing
I
this?
also didn't realize that Utah was in the Pac-12 since like 2011.
That's why I was like, when you're like, they're not.
Maybe I was
in
thinking
the-
about TCU. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was
TCU is
thinking-
now in the
we
Power
don't
Five.
know.
When
Yeah.
you were
We
like,
don't know
yeah,
what
we're
you're
not.
I don't know. Clearly, I'm not the brightest person.
We
Breaking
know.
news, guys.
Yeah, when
My bad.
you said they're not, and then you're like Utah. I was like, Utah was definitely in the Pac-12 that like before this. Okay, so he didn't play. Okay, so that makes sense. So I
Yeah.
guess everyone was right.
I was right
in
about the
some
Mountain
way.
West in a way. So thank you.
Oh,
Anyway, moving on. moving on.
well,
Oh wow. Never mind.
What?
we got first just another quantum wave function. Appreciate you. Clap, Ryan.
I'm sorry, I was trying to put it in. Whoa, hey, just another quantum wave function.
Appreciate you, and then got to stand up. Brooks. Rocco, stand up.
Rocco, just because Brooks doesn't like you, we like Brooks.
I think Brooks likes me.
Ah, ah.
I think
That
we
is
get along.
not what he says behind your back.
Wow. That's.
I mean, he'll say it to
To
you.
your face.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I mean, it's really because what you're wearing, how you carry yourself, your attitude.
How do I carry myself? How would you
well,
describe me? What would my draft?
Well, when you
report be?
walked in, kind of. So, actually, we should have draft. We could have reports here. I think for Rocco, wears his emotions on his sleeve. Like you can look at him and know what's going on with him. Doesn't have a poker face. He can sit there and go, you know what? Is he stressed about something? You're damn right he is. Is he upset about something? Yes. Is he really giddy and excited and goes crazy like when he was rooting for Pittsburgh and he's got all the stuff and it's very obvious? Absolutely. So there's a lot of things that we understand with Rocco. You know, I used to wear my emotions more on my sleeve. Sometimes I do some things when I get excited and antsy, but
A little bit.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Usually very like one, just like
The thing is when I played, I was harder. I was so hard on myself, but like outside of that, I'm usually pretty calm and collected, except when I want to get fired up and I'm ready to rock and roll. Yeah, you're damn right. Like you pissed me off with saying the SEC is the best conference of all time right now.
they are.
Not anymore.
They still are.
Not in football anymore. Now that everyone gets paid, everyone can play. It's
Except
true.
you, except you.
Except me.
Yeah.
Well, good time to start our call-ins here. So, guys, put the link in for channel members. I appreciate you guys. A lot of good kids. I think Peyton, we got Peyton in the background. First one.
Yep.
Peyton, what's going on? Peyton? Peyton.
Put him back on the screen, you idiot.
No, he's on this. He's there.
Oh.
Peyton, can you hear us? Peyton. Bark if you are there, Peyton.
All right, we'll come back to Peyton.
We'll come
Hey!
back to Peyton.
Hey,
No, that's not barking, Rocco. Goodness gracious.
I guess we'll go to our old
Let's-
friend.
Let's go back to the more you know with Arkansas Joe.
Joe, how you doing?
Joe,
Joe.
we can't hear
it's a
you.
jump
it on
scare if
us?
I've never seen
Is it
one
an
before.
art thing?
Yeah.
No, well, so I got two different Arkansas Joes in here.
Yeah, Joe, try to read.
They try to read. It's
Well,
hard.
try
for,
to
it's hard.
try
for
to
me do.
rejoin, Joe.
Joe, join and rejoin.
Okay, so we're gonna go to Rick.
Rick,
What's going on, boys?
it's
Thank you, Rick.
not
It's
us
not
because
us.
Rick
Thank you,
Rick is here to save the day once again. Rick,
What is going on?
hey, happy Saturday, man. Happy Ravens game day.
Yep. Happy game day, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor, punch Rocco for me.
Oh, well, we will. You know, the thing is, he can't. When I told him the scenarios, he got excited for a second. He had a glimmer of hope. And maybe this will make you feel good, Rick, is that he goes, well, if the Steelers win tonight, and even if the Ravens win, I go, no, the Steelers.
No, I knew the scenario.
Steelers still do. If the Steelers lose, no matter what, it's over. And it was kind of that look. Can you go to Rocco for a second? There's that look.
Look at that guy. How could you come in here wearing that hat?
You know what? We allow people with different affiliations, thoughts, concerns, but does it mean we like him? That's up for debate. But
Yeah, well,
we control what we can control, Rick. And that's
it, bud.
Ravens win, then they do their talking for everybody else. But how are you feeling about this one as we're about 2 hours from kickoff?
I feel pretty good, man. If we don't blow their ass out, I'll be a little pissed off. But as long as we get the dub.
Hey, win no matter what, right? I mean, do you think, I'll ask you then, the line's at 20, you probably heard us talking about that. You think the Ravens are going to cover that? Like, that's a massive number.
You know how these divisional games are, man. You never know.
Mhm.
We got Bailey Zappi, the old pro Bailey Zappi. As long as he don't light us up.
Legacy game. I sure hope not.
Concerns me.
Yeah, he probably throws about 5 interceptions, I'm thinking.
Yeah, Zach probably put, just because, Zach's in the mood to put down some flyer bets, he probably put 3 touchdowns for Bailey Zappi.
No, but you do know my flower bet for the Ravens game. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that in a little bit. No, but it should be exciting, Rick. I mean, it does feel a little strange to me, week 18, though. Like, it doesn't feel like the season finale. Like, this is on
crazy.
the line, right?
Hard to believe. I cannot believe we're already at the end.
Yeah.
But
Feels
I'm
like
ready
it's
for some playoff football, though.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you something. Ravens win. We'll get into it more, but who would you want the Ravens to face? If it's Chargers or Steelers, or that would be the case here if the Ravens win.
Of course, I'd rather play the Chargers, but whoever comes, whoever we play, don't matter. You got to beat them all to get there.
Mhm.
So,
I like that philosophy. That's why I like you, Rick.
The only team I'm worried about is Kansas City, and I think we got something for them this year.
I hope, man.
I do too.
I really hope. I mean, look, it just feels like this Ravens team is starting to, unlike even the last years with the Ravens with the number 1 seed, there's a feeling here that just it has that 2012 vibe where, hey, you had that bump in the road trying to figure it out, and it seems like the stars are aligning. There's a lot of confidence, but the boys are going to have to go out and play and figure it out, and most likely they are going to have to then win a home playoff game, go to Buffalo, and then go to Kansas City. So lot to be made here. I'm excited.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And, with the number 1 offense, the defenses went from like 28th to 14th, haven't given up 17 points the last couple of weeks. I don't see anybody stopping us. As long as they don't do something stupid, as long as Lamar stays locked in and they don't abandon the run, ain't no way they're going to stop us.
Only team that can beat the Ravens is the Baltimore Ravens. I
Boom.
genuinely believe it. I genuinely believe it. The Ravens play their ball game. Ain't no one stops them.
You got it, baby.
I'm feeling. Hey, before Rick, we let you go. Did you get enough rest last night? Because I was exhausted.
Yeah, no thanks to you.
Hey, look, I blame Zach Lowther, man. I blame Zach Lowther. I was ready to call it a night. I was just relaxing. It was great. We were having a nice little chat and telling some stories.
That kid don't know ball. Nah, he's a good dude.
He is a good kid, and he's going
Yeah,
out
he
to
is.
Taiwan to play for the Dragons. Zach Lowther going to play for the Dragons out there. Not going to do the first pronunciation of the city or the team, but the Dragons is the last one.
Tijuana?
He's going to Taiwan.
Oh, Framing Dragon.
Yeah. That's what. Well, we have. Well, there's a couple things I was going to say. We have Zach Lowther's going to the Dragons, and Mike is going to Japan to play for the Swallows. So
He's playing for the Swallows?
yeah,
Nice.
They're my favorite team, though.
Nice. Very nice.
there it is.
Paul Kruger also played for the Swallows.
Paul no. See, it's only you say Paul Kruger played for the Ravens.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
you just ruined the
sorry.
joke.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Rick. Anything else before we let you go and we move on?
No, just smack that hat off that boy's head.
Don't you worry, Rick.
Don't you worry. It's coming. It's
I
coming.
love you, Rocky. You're my boy.
It's all love, Rick.
No,
You're the man.
You know it, baby.
Yes, it is. It's all love, Ripken.
Rick might say he loves you, but
He does.
actions
Great
speak
guy.
louder than words. But Rick,
Yeah, don't come around me with that hat on, though, man.
All right.
Thank
I won't.
you.
You terrify me. Love you, Rick.
see you, Rick.
All right.
See you, Rick.
What a guy, man.
What a guy. What a guy. All right. I think who do we got next in the chamber here? I think we got, I don't know if Peyton, I saw you call in. If you want to call in again, let us know. But I think we got the more you know with Joe. Joe.
All right, we're good to go now.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're good.
Oh,
We're
geez.
back. It was a Joe problem. Sorry. It was a Joe problem.
It
not
was a
us.
joke problem.
How you doing?
Rested as well. You kept us up late last night there, Ryan, but
I,
that's okay.
it's okay. You know, I'll tell you what, I was tired. I
What
did not
time
expect
did
it.
you guys get off?
Well, so I blame Zach Lowther because he got back from the playoff game last night in the Dominican.
Did they win?
They won.
Woo!
Robinson Cano's on the team. That's a whole.
Is
like,
on his
That's
team?
incredible.
Yeah, like that was just brought up out of the blue. He's like, oh yeah, Robinson's on the team. Cool. And then
Why
Oh.
is Robbie not coming on this show?
I'm gonna talk to Zach about that.
Yeah, like that's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
42. He's 42 hitting bombs down there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He is. He is.
I love that league.
It's so the DR, they're in the playoffs. It's like a round robin type of
Mhm.
style. So they're trying to, teams in the round robin, then they advance, then you keep going. But then Zach's going to Taiwan. So that was great. So I blame Zach Lowther, Joe, but I'm glad we had it was good. It was easy.
He kind of brought himself in, to be honest.
He did. Zach was like, "Oh, bring me on. I'm having some beers." I'm like, "Nah." He had a Presidente and a Presidente Light. I digress.
Presidente Light.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
electric.
It's unbelievable. Joe, talk to us. What's on your mind for this football Saturday?
Well, the Ravens are going to win. I don't think they cover. That's a large spread.
A large number.
I just don't see it because hopefully by the second half we're cruising, can rest some guys, and go from there. But it's probably going to be like 28-10, something closer, but not. I don't think they're going to cover.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the B word. Still not going to say it. It should be. I want it to be the B word.
Well,
It
what
should
do
be
we
the-
consider a B word? Like, are we? Here's the thing with the B word. Like,
What's a B word? Is blowout?
Yeah.
Oh, Ravens blowout. Is that
well,
is that
it
what you
doesn't
guys
matter
are
if
talking
you
about?
say it. We
It doesn't
can't
matter if
say
you
it.
say it.
Like,
The Ravens
look
blowout.
at what you're wearing. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say you
Raven-
gotta take off.
Maybe
Is it
actually put the
Ravens-
hat back on.
Yeah,
Ravens
put that thing
blowout?
back on.
Maybe put
Oh,
that.
I think my hair looks,
Playoffs? Oh God. Hey Joe, I gotta say,
Jesus. I just learned something today too.
what'd you learn?
The name Rocky is fine to come into Arkansas, but they stop you at the border if your name is Rocco.
That's I think it's a bylaw in Arkansas. Actually, I think it's actually right there.
I called Sarah the other day and made her have an executive order. No Roccos. Rocky's fine. No Roccos.
Well, then we can't have. Well, we can still have Kevin go search for diamonds down there, but Rocco no longer.
Rocco's got to get a work permit to go be allowed in Arkansas.
Yeah, they're going to be waiting at the state line.
I have more street cred in the South than all of you morons combined.
Oh my goodness!
Did you guys know he covered the Iron Bowl?
He did.
Yeah.
Rumor has it Bama is going to be playing in the semis. They got bumped in.
Mm-hmm.
Got bumped in.
Didn't you go to an SEC school once upon
I
a time?
went to South Carolina my freshman year. I'm objective though, and that was actually when the Cox were nasty at that time.
That's when we were calling the cops.
They were called the
On
Cox.
Cox, baby.
Call the Cox. Get the Gamecocks were awesome that year. Like,
South Carolina fans, speaking of the Gamecocks, are just like insane people, but in the best way possible.
oh, it's
I
a-
met
it's a
one-
time- it's
I
a-
met one a few, and like I shit you not, it was a South Carolina regular season game, and these two nut jobs had their jerseys on at Morgan's Pier in Philadelphia, and they almost got kicked out in the first quarter. Going up 7-0, I think they were playing Mizzou or someone at home. Got up on the table after they scored, or out, on their seats, and went ah. It was like the craziest cock call in the world, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" The bouncer comes up to him and he goes, "Can't be doing that." And they're like, "Why?" It's like, you just can't be doing that. Everyone else was having a good time, enjoying it, and these two nut jobs were just like screaming at the time. I loved it. I was like, I want to root for South Carolina now. So here we are.
Okay.
Cock call. Cock call. Okay.
You like that?
All right. Just when I thought Rocco couldn't.
do we have that on? We have that Rocco the wings and everything.
Lips.
If I was gonna stand up on the chair like they did, I might fall and break every bone in my body, but it's how it was.
What is going on right now?
Usually, but no, they usually at USC it's USC and they go Cox. Like it's not. They don't flap.
No, these guys were flapping. They
Well,
were
then
flapping
you
and like they were going nuts. Like I swear on my life.
You sure you weren't at an Eagles game?
Yeah. Goodness gracious, Joe. Any final words here? I know I'm kind of speechless, son.
I mean, I just hope you guys clip it earlier when Rocco said nothing good ever happened to him and show it to Ariana so that she leaves his ass.
She did. She left me for 3 months. Travel contract in Seattle. So I'm all by myself again, unfortunately. So thanks for rubbing salt in the wound. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I mean, permanently. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but Seattle.
About that. We'll make sure it happens. But Joe, appreciate you, man. We'll be back on. Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. Well, Kevin, Zach reacts later.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll be live later, so you'll probably see them then. But appreciate you, and I'm sure Rocco can call the Cox for you personally later on. All right.
All right, later, guys.
See you, Joe.
See you, Joe.
Oh man, that was.
I swear, I didn't make that up, Rip. Like
I'm not saying
that.
I'm not saying you.
I
I will say this: at the year I was at South Carolina, and I went tailgating, and I was around. And by the way, the tailgating there at Williams-Brice, it's phenomenal. It is a fantastic time. Gone down there, especially Jamie has friends in that area. She went down there for PA school. It's a great spot. The tailgate, A+. Even when South Carolina wasn't as good. But in my time, no one ever got up on a table and they did what you did.
Rip, they did that. And not only did they do that, it was the day after the wedding. So they were decked out in their South Carolina red and black jerseys, and they had them on the whole day, and they did the cock call on the table or on the bar, and they almost got kicked out. And then we went to McGillen's later that night. It's a Philly staple. And a buddy of mine covered the Gamecocks for a long time, and he still does. He works for Gamecock Central. His name's Mike Uva. And I have a minute and a half long video on my phone of them screaming at Mike Uva after the game, saying, South Carolina's going to win the national championship. We're so good. Unbelievable. Like, they were going nuts. One of the craziest fan bases. Like, those two alone just made me root for South Carolina that day. And I was like, I'm all in. I'm bought in. Like, Beamer Ball's a thing. So it was electric.
Hey, you know what? It looks like South Carolina's on the way back up. They had a phenomenal year. Fell to a Big Ten school because that's a dominant conference of this season.
Yeah.
Which is the reality fact. But we are, if you tuned in at the time when Rocco was calling the Gamecocks, we are talking about the Ravens and Browns here. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live every Ravens pregame show, but then Mondays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's what we do. And before we bring on our next guest here, we'll actually consider this. Take a ride on our Adams Jeep of Maryland here, because we know our next guest loves the ride on Adams Jeep. Beep, beep, I'm a Jeep. And how quickly can I get this video up, Zach? Over or under 7 seconds?
Over.
Really? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Yeah. Adams Jeep of Maryland, our friends up there in Aberdeen. And look, if you're looking for a new car, 5 minutes down from Ironbird Stadium there, you go there, used or new. You use the phrase, I love the Ryan Ripken Show, or Rocco sucks. Give you $1,000 with gas card with the purchase of the vehicle. Go check out adamsjeepofmaryland.com. And the website specifically, you can pick the price range you're comfortable with and see what's available, used or new, and any customizations for your vehicle. They are the go-to guys. Just tell Chuck and Matt that we sent you guys. So, beep, beep, I'm a Jeep. Let's bring on Mama. Let's bring on Laura.
There we go.
There she is. Hey, Laura, how we doing? Happy Saturday.
Adam's Jeep, beep beep.
Beep, 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 beep. I'm a Jeep. How you doing today?
I'm doing great considering, how late I was up last night.
I know a lot of people apparently we just were
That's
up
just
late.
the overall thing we're getting at is everyone joins is like, well, I'm a little tired, Ryan.
I only stayed up with the community. I was just feeling out what they were doing, right? Laura, I was about to wrap it up.
He was. And then Zach came on and then we started talking. They started talking stories. And I was like, oh, Rip After Dark. This is the part I like. Because I like to hear all these different stories about baseball and all the stuff you guys did that you probably shouldn't have been doing, while you were on road trips and things like that. That's the stuff I want to hear.
Well, that's a full. We didn't get fully into Rip After Dark on that. We just told a couple stories, some fan interactions, what goes right and wrong in certain places. But yes, it was great, Laura. I appreciate you guys, and we're gonna do more of those. So for channel members, click that join button. We're gonna have more of those in the future. And it actually started off, Laura. We were breaking down the Charlie Morton deal, which
Correct.
we did. So
That's what we were doing. We were talking about Charlie Morton. So, but honestly, I really called in because I still hadn't really had a chance to gloat about how I beat Ryan in our inaugural fantasy football. Thank you.
Talk about B word.
that was a
Blowout. That was a blowout.
B word.
That
was
was
a straight blowout.
that's blowout doesn't do it justice. Like that was, I was like literally taken behind the woodshed and then thrown into the harbor. Anchors on. Laura beat me by 70. Her team put up 208 points in the Holy Shirts and Pants League, guys. 208 points. Your team, you had T. Higgins, Baker Mayfield, who both went over 34 points. T had 40. You had Gibbs, who went over 26. Derrick Henry went over 24. Jalen McMillan, 23. My highest scorers of the week, I had Mike Evans and Ladd McConkey. And Jaden Daniels, I put up 100 and almost 40. Just Laura just kicked my ass.
Yes, I did.
Got hot at the right time, kind of like the Baltimore Ravens.
Exactly. Kind of like how our Baltimore Ravens are getting hot at the right time right now.
That's it.
I still don't think they're going to cover the spread. I'm going to agree with that. They're not going to cover that spread, but they are going to blow out the Browns. Yes, I said it. I said it, damn it. I'm waiting for the blowout.
Hide.
So this is why I keep saying, what do we classify as a blowout? Because it's 3 scores, is 17 a blowout?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. I could see this
The
being.
Browns are not going to score today. It's going to be 0. They're going to get a goose egg.
Oh.
I could see.
Oh,
so
no,
if they score
don't
0,
say that.
if they put his goose egg up, and they got to cover the spread. I see the Ravens scoring at least 3 touchdowns. Well, they better for my.
They should score 3 touchdowns. Absolutely, they absolutely should.
I think the Browns get a field goal or 2 though.
21-0. It's good. It's good for me.
That would be great.
It's so hard to just have a shutout. The Ravens defense was incredible, but then the Texans still got the safety, so it's 31-2, which, yes, your defense
I think it's funnier to have 31-2 than it is 30.
I do too, because
I
then you
think
can
it's
sit there like our defense actually scored the only
only
points.
people that actually scored were the Ravens. We scored for them. We felt so bad that we helped put points up for them.
Yeah. Well, I agree. There's no reason why the Ravens shouldn't win this game and win it convincingly. It's just more so I'm a superstitious guy. And playing, I just don't like to throw those words around here. Yeah. But the biggest thing is I want the Ravens to win, and I want their stars to be walking into the playoffs at as close to full health as they can be. Specifically, the 2 on offense of Lamar and Derek. Yeah. Whatever happens, I want Lamar and Derek to be ready, healthy, as they make their hopeful Super Bowl run. That's all.
Yeah. I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. So
I'll save those Rip After Dark stories for being very superstitious in the minor leagues, and there was a lot of them.
Okay. So
you've only heard one story, Zach.
I've heard a few, and none of them,
they're all, and you know what? Did it
all
end?
Against my will?
That was not all against your will.
Every Rip After Dark story I know has happened against our will, right, Rocco?
Yeah.
No, Rocco. You first.
Rocco
off,
actually asked to rip After Dark more than anyone.
Well, against my will, I heard the one story, which I will not repeat on this stream, and I don't know if anyone could ever hear about it on the stream because of the I don't know.
Rip After Dark, baby.
I don't want to get Rip arrested.
What?
Okay, it wasn't that
Yeah,
bad.
like,
It wasn't
see, that's
bad,
what I'm
but that
saying.
was not
This
that
is
bad.
my point.
It was nothing illegal.
This is my point, and maybe Zach, I'll change my stance on you. Rocco would not survive in a locker room. He wouldn't survive in the locker room,
No, Rocco was.
especially with that facial expression, and he easily can get unhinged right there.
Rocco
Rocco,
took
the pale Pisano. I mean, come on.
You're a good kid, Rock. Hey, Laura, anything else besides, okay, you whooped my ass. The Ravens should win this going away. Anything else that is on your mind here for this football Saturday?
Not related to football. I am not disappointed with the Charlie Morton signing. I mean, reliable AF. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do agree that there needs to be another move. So we're still waiting for the other move, but in waiting for that other move, we only have 38 days till pitchers and catchers report. So I'm getting a little nervous.
We got a lot to happen, and we'll dive into more baseball convos, Laura, when we get Monday, and we got our happy hour hot stove coming back on Wednesdays. So we got a lot to cover with it. And one thing that I will just say for this, a lot of people don't want to hear, the Orioles will go as far as their young nucleus will take them. So we'll talk about that more.
Nothing wrong with that, but we'll talk about that next week. But go Ravens. And King Henry scores a touchdown on his birthday. What else? I'm trying to think of what other props I got going on. And remember, this is all for entertainment purposes. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Thank you. See, Laura is not only part of the community, also part of our keeping our sponsorships in check. You got a problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Laura,
that's all I got, guys. Great Saturday.
You too.
See
Have
you,
a
Laura.
great Saturday.
Thank you.
Enjoy your Deep Eddy vodka too. Got to get that to you. So I will set Laura, if you're still hearing me, we're going to get that to you for next time I see you. We're going to figure out things for spring training going down to Florida. That'll be for a different conversation.
Yeah, and real quick, while I was rudely hit in the head because I was looking for this to get put up on screen, we got Lamar's official walk-in outfit. Loving the jacket. Look at that hat. I need this hat.
Wait,
Looking at a blue screen right now. There we go.
what are you talking about? You're looking at a blue screen?
No, now we're good.
Rocco, you were the only one who was looking at that.
So what? How would we classify that hat?
I need that hat, though.
It's like a hat with like the like
It looks like it has dog ears, and that's
the
what I like
yeah,
about
the
it.
dog ears, exactly. You ever see I Think You Should Leave?
Yes.
It's like
no, literally the
guy with
the
the hat, the
haircut.
haircut looks like dog
Yeah.
ears. Yeah.
where
Yeah.
this looks like the this also looks like an old hairstyle, like in like the 1700s, like when they would have like, I mean, they would have more like curls coming down. I like the hat. I need that hat. I'm gonna get that hat.
I'm looking up dog hats, and I'm not getting the result I was hoping for.
No, I think I'm unfortunately, like I keep saying, I want this hat. This hat's probably like $10,000.
Yeah, probably minimum.
I like the jacket more than the hat. It's a fresh, like,
Okay, well, yeah, the jacket's sick, but I was like, look at the hat.
Yeah, it's good. You know, we'll definitely see if that's in the Ryan Ripken Show budget when we find out which one it is.
Yeah, we'll
So
get that.
obviously, and if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're having our call-ins for our channel members. So we put it in the YouTube community for our channel members. You're looking to be a channel member, click that join button. Let us know how you feel about this Ravens Saturday, or if you just want to take a shot at one of the boys. And I know our next guest, one, is an avid Ravens fan and also is not a fan of one of the members of the show. Let's bring on our favorite friend across the pond, British Raven, Nick.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, I love that.
Look at that. So Lamar sent you the memo.
The memo was received, but unfortunately the budget was not. So £2 children in need barriers was the answer.
Well, they
Yep.
look You look great. Looks fantastic.
Supporting charity, unlike that fraud, Rocco.
Yeah, we don't like Rocco right now. Rocco's trying to match.
You look
It's
like you
also
just have a horn.
sideways.
You just look like you have a horn.
It's
You look like a
sideways.
rhino.
Starting trends here.
You look like you have
No.
a
You look
rhino.
like you're very excited to see me.
Oh,
Nick, I love
happy
you.
This show has just
Saturday.
been off the rails today. Yeah.
Oh man, maybe
I love this show.
You know,
This has been
people
one of
have
the best
described me
pregame
as
shows.
this before, so it's
as what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Use your imagination. So
Oh
This has been
my
our-
god.
This has been one of the better
Excuse
pregame
me.
shows. Just incredible. This has been incredible.
Time
Who
out.
keeps letting this man in the building, by the way?
I
Oh.
know. It's my fault. It's my fault.
Oh my
The
goodness.
man who should not be named.
I didn't even
I have
realize.
serious. I'm
That's
gonna
my
have to talk to Ariana now. I'm telling her I'm concerned. Nick, let's talk to me. How are we how are we feeling today?
A lot worse for the presence of Rocco,
Yes,
as usual.
obviously.
I feel that the temperature is appropriately low because of him. Everything about the world that is wrong is because of Rocco. And for some reason, an entire nationality of people, hereby the Greeks, actually have a day where they say no to people like Rocco, the Italians. And this is perhaps why me and Rocco do not get on well.
I think that we learned something today. We learned something today. It all makes sense.
This has been the best show.
This is Nick.
This is incredible.
If you could see from my perspective, you would be mortified. But so for the Ravens here, what are you expecting in this final game? What would you like to see? I know the B word has been thrown around a couple times here, but personally, I'd like to see the team come out healthy and hopefully try to coast in the second half and get ready for the postseason.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But as you know, I have retired from predicting the blowout, and I've been 3-0 since.
Good. So don't you change
So
it.
I'm going to go ahead with the same prediction of 9-6 Ravens.
9-6,
I love
like
it.
it. 9-6.
But
Sure.
out of that 9-6, I somehow need a Derrick Henry touchdown and a Pat Ricard touchdown.
All right, that's hard. But
So-
a little difficult
Yeah.
to get. Yep.
We're going to have to get some level of amnesia or hope that Paddy Power, my betting company, forget how to count.
Yes, I agree.
I like that, Just like they score a touchdown,
And it
but
gets
then they're
called
like,
back?
yeah, they're like, just kidding.
Yeah,
the-
I'm going to click cash out on that bet the minute I can.
Yeah, I think it's like they score, and the Ravens are like, we'll give those points to the Browns.
Yeah.
Like Merry Christmas type thing. A little Christmas present.
Yeah.
That's how it
I'm
happens.
going to be in there real quick.
You just gotta creep
Creep.
Yeah.
creep around.
The way it has to be.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I think it's an exciting time. It really doesn't feel like the final week of the season. Truly, there's so much still on the line. The Ravens win the division. That's a massive accomplishment. But maybe it's different than when the Ravens played the Browns in Lamar's rookie year, where it was the Browns were up and coming and that team was formidable, and it came down to the final plays of the game for the Ravens to clinch the AFC North. Then this doesn't have that same feeling, but the job needs to be done. And then, Nick, once the job's done, then the real journey, the next journey begins. Which
And Rocco's got a front row seat for that.
he does. Rocco has a
It's
front
his
row seat.
Steelers that gave this up. The Ravens are just going to be grittying on into the playoffs, and I'm not going to attempt it because the gritty would never recover from it, just like we haven't ever recovered from Rocco. But yeah, the playoffs is another journey, and we'll be seeing the Ravens until February, hopefully.
We're hoping. And that means right now for Baltimore, they win once again. For everyone out there, they will host a playoff game next week. They will be the 3 seed, and they will play the Chargers or the Steelers in the opening round. Right now, it is the Chargers. If the Ravens were to lose in Pittsburgh, somehow then wins the division, then Baltimore would go to Houston. So those are the options for everyone. It's either play the Chargers or Steelers at home, or Baltimore travels to play the Houston Texans which we just saw just last week. Man, that Christmas game feels like ages ago at this point.
I was talking about this the other day or yesterday. It feels like the Ravens, because it was the 3 games in 11 days. It feels like haven't played in years, but also I've seen so much Ravens football all at the same time because of that weird like Christmas Day, and then you had that like weird kind of bye week because everyone went. It was the Wednesday game, and then like we've been talking about, it feels like no day over the past 2 weeks has really been a day. Like you just never know what day of the week it was. Like yesterday, I was sitting there. Someone's like, "Wow, Ravens play tomorrow," and I was like, "They do not play." Oh, they play tomorrow.
They do.
I'm like, yeah.
That's why I had to go back and say, when we were talking about our Darius Washington and the plays he's made, I was like, yeah, the last couple games, I was like, the Texans game wasn't that like 2 games.
Yeah, it feels like the Texans game was like literally like 10 weeks ago.
The first like 2 or 3 weeks of December, they just like go slow as hell because you're like sitting and waiting and all right, get me to the holidays like right now. And then you go to like the 21st or like the 23rd through like now flies by, and you don't know what day it is. You don't know the date. You don't know the time. It's just like,
if you would have, you could convince me that the Eagles game was last year. Like 2023 season.
Well, and technically it was last year.
I hate this.
Yeah, that's great, right? Yeah.
That's great. Hey, Nick, I'm sorry about our banter. Any final thoughts here before we let you go and enjoy your Saturday as much as you can after seeing Rocco?
Well, my Saturday, unfortunately, is tainted. But all I want to see, like what you said earlier, is the Ravens to get through the game healthy and ready to go for the next round.
That's all I want.
Play it safe. Get the game won. Get them off the field.
I'm cool with that. I'm all on board with that.
Yeah.
And then throw Rocco in the harbor.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
Yep. I will do that for free.
For free. I think everyone would in our community. But hey, Nick, appreciate you, man. We got to get our I don't have the only hat I have that's in sight for me is this one. But
that kind of works though with the whole ear thing. I know they're horns, but still.
It looks better than what Rocco's attempting, so
they are horns.
Okay.
Well, he also has ears on his.
Nick, I appreciate you, man. Have a great Saturday, man, and we'll talk soon, all right?
Have a great afternoon, guys. Let's win.
Let's win.
Appreciate
Bye,
you,
Nick.
man.
Go Steelers.
That's
Shut up,
just unbelievable.
This has been a fantastic show.
I can do a lot with this thing right now. I'm getting some shit for moving my head too much. I get it. You can like hang hats on it. It's like
if people we didn't have the camera on you intentionally, because then we would have been demonetized.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The shit I was doing with that hat on behind the scenes to Rip was like jail time.
That's tough. Well, guys, we appreciate you. Before we wrap it up, though, we should definitely talk about. Don't throw it. Don't do it. You're gonna knock something. Your aim's not that good.
Yeah.
I've seen you play.
Great aim.
You're gonna hit. I'm telling you right now, you're gonna hit that,
You're gonna hit the light,
and then you're gonna knock over this drink.
I'm not. I could literally.
And then you're gonna send my pup Ollie into a frenzy, and then we're like, well, great. Look what you've done. Look what you've done.
Perfect pass.
Nope.
I mean, Rip. Just give me a shot.
No. Rocco.
Beautiful. It was beautiful, man. Just throw dimes.
This guy.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
At least somebody that's affiliated with Pittsburgh's throwing dimes. So we will see what happens. But guys, before we do, we got to talk about Zach. You've been waiting to talk about your spicy bet for the day for this game.
Yeah.
What's your best bet, and then what's your spicy bet?
Best bet. I put like a little parlay together. It's only plus 100, but Derrick Henry, 80 plus rushing yards and 1 touchdown. I think they're going to give him the first half. I think they're going to rely on the run game. I don't think they want to use Lamar much. So just give him I think they're going to give him his touchdown so that he can get 15, get that incentive, get the all of that. I think he gets to 80 yards. But my big bet, hear me out. I know it's not as big as Justice Hill 3+ touchdowns, but I do have a wager on Keaton Mitchell, 2 touchdowns at plus 2,000 $10 pays out $2.10. I think they're going to run the ball. I think it's going to be effective. And I think Keaton Mitchell, after they give it to Derrick Henry after that first half, I think they're going to let Mitchell and them, get their opportunities, try to get touchdowns. And I would not be surprised if Keaton Mitchell, throw a few bucks on Keaton Mitchell to score twice.
While we're talking gambling, Rip, can I bring this up just for the NFL bettors perspective? Because you talked about incentives and Derrick Henry getting that one touchdown, which would get him $500,000. Players don't want to leave money on the table at the end of the season. If they're playing, and my buddy sent me a list, and it was just like the player incentives, who they are, how much it would be, and what they have to do. So, Rip, if you don't mind, I'd like to bring this up for people just at home. I'm not saying if, but things to keep an eye on, because a lot of times you'll see players get force-fed the ball because it's like, all right, I'm 5 catches away. I need to reach that incentive. Like a guy like Mike Evans, 5 receptions, 85 receiving yards, gets him $3 million. You could bet your ass Mike Evans is going to go out and try to get that, or the Bucs are going to try to get Mike Evans that if he's,
and they need to win the
the
game to win the division. So Mike Evans is going to be involved the whole game.
Then you have Geno Smith, 185 plus passing yards for $2 million for an incentive. That's millions of dollars that people don't want to leave out. If it's like 20,000, okay, you might still want to get it, but like a lot of these guys, they're going to go after it. Others include a DeAndre Hopkins, 1+ touchdown, 6+ receptions, and 140+ receiving yards for $750,000. Kyler Murray, 1+ rushing touchdown and 50+ rush yards for $750,000. Derrick Henry's 1+ touchdown would get him $500,000. Cortland Sutton, 82+ receiving yards would get him $500,000. Tony Pollard, 83 rushing yards, $250,000. Joe Mixon, 107+ rushing yards would get him $250,000. MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1+ touchdown, $250,000. And last but not least, former Raven J.K. Dobbins, 58+ rushing yards for $150,000. So, again, things that you see the last week of the season, not just Ravens, Browns, or Steelers, Bengals based, we're looking at all of the NFL. Just keep an eye on some of these things, because if they happen, don't say we didn't try to warn you.
Don't say we didn't try.
Real fast. Ravens inactives just announced. Wide receiver Anthony Miller's out. Nelson Aguilar is out. Marcus Williams out. Justice Hill is in fact out. Adisa Isaac, Nick Samick, and Chris Wormley round out the 7 inactives. So
there it is. So hey, it could be Ali or Keaton Mitchell.
So here's the thing. Like, this is, if Ali is, like, I looked at both. Obviously, I looked at both. If Ali scores 2 touchdowns, never mind. I'm just going to put money on it. I can't have that.
I mean, the fact that you're picking the Bengals to win the Super Bowl now, put a bet down for that.
That is I'm leaving here with something, because I refuse to have to sit through like the hell that would be that offseason and not have something. Like, if they pull off this miracle, like, it would just be insufferable forever. So like, it's one of those I got to leave here with something type bets. I
mean, or you just don't do it.
No, because then if they do it, I have nothing. Like, I already have like the Ravens and all that. Like, I have all those like actual bets, but this is my $5 to win 1,200 bet. You got to leave here with something.
That's fair.
So, and the other one for the Ravens, Kyle Van Noy,
he's got to get half a sack.
But then if Van Noy were to get to 2.5 sacks on Saturday and get to 14, he would earn another $250,000, giving him a chance to make an additional $500K.
So the half sack would be what, $250,000, and the other one you said would be another. So he's like
2.5, half a sack with $250,000. 2.5 sacks for Van Noy will get him another $250 and make $500,000 on this Sunday.
Very nice.
On this Sunday, right? And that's the number. Brooks is right. It's 14 sacks.
Or I also have Keaton Mitchell and Tylan Wallace scoring a touchdown each.
Okay.
I'm just having fun. This is, let's just.
You know what? For my best bet here, before we get on out, I'm going to go back to the well, because the guy that everyone wanted to write off earlier on, but it's death taxes, and Mark Andrews is going to find the end zone. Talk about a guy that the Ravens have needed in that security blanket. I love the fact of what they're doing with Zay and Rashad. The running game. They're throwing the ball over the field. But Mark Andrews, it's a correlation for me. When Mark is getting going, the Ravens are that much more hard to stop. And especially in the red zone, He's been cashing in. I got Mark Andrews
And he
anytime
also-
touchdown plus 140.
Isn't there something? I mean, this might be completely wrong, but isn't there something about like Mark has scored, like the Browns are his most scored against team or something?
He loves
like it.
scoring
Yeah.
against teams from Ohio.
That's what it is. It's teams versus Ohio. He's just always scoring against. Yeah. So I like that bet.
I like that. Rock, do you want to have one on the way out?
I do. I
It
do.
Are
could
you
be from
eating
either
the
game.
nerds?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
They're
Pretty good.
little, yeah.
I'm sorry, Brad. Brad had that.
There's
Whole,
only like a few left. So
why
I'm not,
why
like,
are there
the
a few
biggest
left?
scumbag in the world? What?
Why are there a few left?
Because I've decided to eat most of them and throw some around and
Okay, just so you know, the bag's depleted, not because of Zach,
Nope.
not because of Brad, not because of me. It's a you problem.
you know what, dude? I'm tired.
See, this is
It
what I'm
is,
talking
but I
about.
will say though, it is the best candy out there right now,
It is. It is.
without a doubt.
I am so my best bet is for Rashad Bateman to go back in the end zone.
You couldn't wait to finish your best bet before eating the next handful.
No. Rashad Bateman, even before this season started, there was so much about we should get rid of him, trade him. What's the deal? Are we gonna bring him back or extend him? Why are you laughing? Because I'm continuing to eat my nerds.
Yeah, just the
But-
comments.
Oh, geez, I don't even see what they are. But he's proven everybody wrong. He's stayed healthy this season, and a healthy Rashad Bateman, he is a guy that can help take this Ravens offense to the next level, and we've seen that this year. So, give me Rashad Bateman to have his ninth receiving touchdown of the season. Hell, I even like him to score 2. I'm not going to go that far, but love to see Rashad Bateman finish the regular season with double-digit touchdowns. That would be awesome for him. And considering he came in as a first-round pick, considering all the shit he's been through and all the ups and downs, it would be fantastic to see him cap off the regular season, with the bang.
It would be. And Rashad Bateman, awesome year for him. A guy that has become so reliant, dependent. And how about this? Just even last season, everyone was talking about the Ravens wide receiving core. They weren't enough. They didn't have enough talent in that room. Well, I'll tell you what, 2 drafted homegrown players in Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman have been a big part of this team so far this season. And if they continue to develop and Lamar Jackson continues to be who he is, this Ravens offense can be very, very exciting, especially in the passing game for years to come. So thank you, Rock, for that. Thank you for chewing with your mouth open.
Really got to hit the gym after this. I'm a scumbag, dude.
I mean, we know.
Yeah.
And obviously, last but not least, for everything, we appreciate all of you guys tuning in. We appreciate our sponsor, Iron Rooster. They're just our OG with us, man. Like, honestly, I don't know
Always the
where I'd
best.
be without them. Sorry, Rocco, you didn't get to. Actually, are you the one that took the bite out of this Roost Tart? Is this you?
No.
Dude, so I went over to be like, hey, man, Kyle always hooks us up with the Roost Tarts and obviously the food. You had the breakfast burrito again. I had my
Incredible.
omelet. But, like, I go to, like, you know what? I'm going to show this off for a second. How'd you open this?
You should call Kyle and ask for a refund. It seems like that they
So I
they just
go,
gave you a happy
and I'm like, oh, I'm going to
refund.
show it. And then Rocco takes a bite out of it and then puts it back.
No, I didn't take a bite. I took a fork and took some of it and then put it back. But it wasn't like a full
So this is Rocco's eating habits today. He's nerds, Sour Patch Kids, and stealing the Roost Tarts for the good people. But Iron Rooster, appreciate it. They were buzzing today. And why not? It's a Saturday. Get your brunch on. And we know who's hungry at all times. It's our friend, but not yours, Rocco DeSangro.
I
So-
can't believe I saw your face when you walked over and like grabbed the thing. You're like looking at it, and I was like, "What is he looking at with the rooster?"
He told me to have some of it, and it's a community Roost Tart.
Oh, is it?
So I yes, it is.
Man.
Oh my god.
Well, all right. I think we're all set. And last thing, so going, hey, we're going to the
Let's do it.
playoffs with the best offense and defense, also healthy. We are dangerously good. And that's the key right here. Get to the postseason healthy, win this game, be ready to go. And then that journey to hoist the Lombardi starts next week. Hopefully it's going to be here in Baltimore as the Ravens hopefully wrap up the AFC North. Well, everyone, we're under an hour and a half from kickoff. We appreciate all of you guys. We'll be back on Monday to talk about all things football and get you ready for what should be a great playoff run. Kevin and Zach Reacts, another part of the Ryan Ripken Media. They will be live after the game to break down the Ravens-Browns game. And we got a lot more in store. So I think that's it. Cue the music. As always here on the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy your football Saturday. Go Ravens. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking weekend. We'll see you on Monday for a brand new edition of the Ryan Ripken Show.